Episode 1, The Letter That Broke the Silence. Alright, let's get real here. Picture this, a dusty attic in a creaky old house, the kind where every floorboard groans like it's spilling secrets. That's where I was, Ellie Martin, 28 years old and knee-deep in nostalgia, sorting through boxes of junk from my teenage years. The air smelled like mothballs and regret, and I was half convinced I'd find nothing but bad poetry and faded Polaroids. Then I saw it. A yellowed envelope, tucked inside a dog-eared copy of The Catcher in the Rye. My name was scrawled on it in my own loopy handwriting, but the kicker? It was addressed to Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, that Cristiano Ronaldo. The Portuguese soccer god who somehow ended up my brother's best friend back when we were kids in this nowhere town in upstate New York. My heart did a flip, then a flop, then a full-on nosedive into my stomach. I hadn't thought about that letter in years. Hell, I'd forgotten I even wrote it. I tore it open, because of course I did. What else was I gonna do, frame it? The words hit me like a sucker punch. Dear Cristiano, I don't know how to say this without sounding like a total idiot, but I think I'm in love with you. Not the you on TV, scoring goals and breaking hearts, but the you who ate my mom's burnt cookies and laughed when Jake fell off his bike. I'll never send this, but I had to write it somewhere. There was more, sappy stuff about his smile and the way he'd look at me sometimes, like maybe he saw me too. Teenage Ellie was a damn fool, spilling her guts on paper she never meant to mail. I stuffed it back in the envelope, my hands shaking, and told myself to burn it later. No big deal, right? Just a ghost from the past. Except life's never that simple. Downstairs, my phone buzzed. It was Jake, my big brother, all gruff and no-nonsense like always. Ellie, you still coming to the reunion tomorrow? Cristiano's in town. Says he misses the old days. I froze. Cristiano. Here. In our dinky little town of Pinewood, where the biggest news is usually a cow tipping over. Jake had been his manager for years now, ever since Cristiano's career took off, but I'd kept my distance. Too many butterflies, too much risk. Yeah, I'll be there, I mumbled, trying to sound casual while my brain screamed, burn the letter, burn it now. Jake laughed. Good. Mom's making those cookies he likes. Don't be late. Click. He was gone, and I was left staring at that stupid envelope like it was a live grenade. I should have torched it right then. Lit a match, watched it curl into ash, end of story. But I didn't. I shoved it into my jeans pocket instead, because apparently I'm a glutton for punishment. The next day rolled around too fast, and there I was, pulling into Mom and Dad's driveway, the house all lit up with string lights and laughter spilling out the windows. The reunion was in full swing, cousins and neighbors milling around with beers and bad dance moves. I plastered on a smile, hugged Mom, dodged Aunt Karen's questions about why I'm still single. Normal stuff. Then I saw him. Cristiano Ronaldo, in the flesh, leaning against the porch railing like he owned the place. He was taller than I remembered, broader too, with that same cocky grin that made my knees weak at 16. His hair was slicked back, his shirt unbuttoned just enough to show he knew exactly how good he looked. Jake was next to him, clapping him on the shoulder, both of them laughing about some inside joke. I wanted to bolt, but Mom grabbed my arm. Ellie, say hi to Cristiano. He was just asking about you. Great. Perfect. I forced a wave, my voice squeaking out a pathetic, hey, long time no see. He turned those dark eyes on me, and I swear the air got thicker. Ellie Martin. Been a while, huh? You still breaking hearts around here? His accent was softer now, smoothed out by years in the States, but it still hit me like a freight train. I laughed, too loud, too fake. Only the ones that deserve it. Smooth, Ellie, real smooth. We chatted for a minute, small talk about the weather and how Pinewood never changes, but I could feel that letter burning a hole in my pocket. Every word I said felt like a lie, every glance from him like a spotlight on my teenage confession. I excused myself to grab a drink, my hands sweaty, my mind racing. Keep it together, I told myself. He doesn't know. Nobody knows. It's fine. Then it happened. I was in the kitchen, pouring a glass of cheap wine, when my cousin Tom, all 6 feet of clumsy, bumped into me. "Whoa, Ellie, watch it," he slurred, knocking my pocket just right. The envelope slipped out, hit the floor with a soft thud. Time slowed down. I lunged for it, but Tom, drunk and nosy as hell, beat me to it. "What's this? Secret love note?" He held it up, squinting at the handwriting. My stomach dropped. "Give it back, Tom," I snapped, you reaching, but he danced away, grinning like an idiot. "To Cristiano Ronaldo? Oh, this I gotta see." I tackled him, full on, right there in Mom's kitchen. We crashed into the counter, a bowl of chips flying everywhere, and I snatched the letter back, shoving it deep into my jacket this time. "It's nothing, you jackass," I hissed, my face burning. Tom just laughed, brushing crumbs off his shirt. "Sure, whatever you say, Ellie." I thought I was in the clear. Thought I'd dodged the bullet. But when I turned around, Jake was standing in the doorway, eyebrows raised. "What's going on?" he asked, casual but curious. Behind him, Cristiano peeked in, that damn grin still on his face. "Nothing," I lied, my voice too high. "Just Tom being a moron." Jake shrugged, but Cristiano's eyes lingered on me a second too long. Did he hear? Did he see? My pulse hammered in my ears. I bolted for the back door, muttering something about needing air, the letter crumpled in my fist. Outside, the night was cool, the stars too bright, and I leaned against the house, trying to breathe. I'd kept that secret locked up for over a decade. One night, one stupid slip, and it was teetering on the edge of ruin. Then I heard footsteps. Someone was coming. And I had no idea who'd picked up that damn envelope after I dropped it again in my panic. Episode 2, Shadows of the Spotlight. So there I was, Ellie Martin, leaning against the back of Mom's house, the night air biting at my cheeks while my heart thumped like I'd just run a marathon. That stupid letter was still in my fist, crumpled and sweaty, and I could hear the reunion buzzing inside, all laughter and clinking glasses. I'd dropped it again in my scramble to get out here, and now someone was coming. Footsteps crunched on the gravel, slow and deliberate, and I braced myself. Please be Tom, I thought. Please just be that drunken idiot so I can smack him and call it a night. But when the figure rounded the corner, it wasn't Tom. It was Cristiano freaking Ronaldo, hands in his pockets, looking at me like he'd caught me stealing cookies from the jar. "Ellie," he said, his voice low and smooth, that accent wrapping around my name like a damn hug. "You okay? Looked like you were running from a ghost in there." I straightened up, shoving the letter deeper into my jacket, my laugh coming out all shaky and wrong. "Yeah, just needed some air. Tom's a clumsy ass, you know how it is." He tilted his head, those dark eyes narrowing just a fraction, like he wasn't buying it. "Sure. You always tackle people over nothing?" There it was, that grin, half teasing, half knowing, and it sent a jolt straight through me. I wanted to melt into the ground, but I forced a smirk instead. "Only when they deserve it, Cristiano." He chuckled, stepping closer, and I swear the space between us shrank to nothing. Up close, he smelled like expensive cologne and a little like the pine trees around us, and it was doing things to my head I didn't need right now. "You haven't changed," he said, softer now, almost nostalgic. "Still got that fire." I opened my mouth to snap something back, anything to keep him from digging deeper, but then Jake's voice boomed from the porch. "Yo, Chris, you out here? Mom's got the cookies ready." Saved by the bell, or at least by my brother's terrible timing. Cristiano shot me one last look, long and unreadable, before turning back. "Coming, man. Don't eat 'em all." And just like that, he was gone, leaving me alone with my pounding pulse and a letter I should have burned hours ago. I thought I'd dodged the worst of it. Thought I could slip back inside, play it cool, keep my secret locked up tight. But the universe had other plans. The reunion was in full chaos now, kids running around, Uncle Ray belting out off-key karaoke. I grabbed a beer from the cooler, trying to blend into the crowd, when I noticed her. A woman I didn't recognize, all sharp cheekbones and sharper eyes, hovering near the snack table with a notebook in her hand. She was scribbling something, glancing around like a hawk, and then her gaze landed on me. My gut twisted. Who the hell was she? Pinewood's not exactly a hotbed for strangers, especially not ones who look like they're casing the joint. I sidled up to Mom, keeping my voice low. Who's the lady with the notebook? Mom frowned, peering over her glasses. Oh, that's Lucy Weber. Reporter or something. Jake invited her, said she's doing a piece on Cristiano's roots. Nice enough, I guess. Nice enough my ass. Lucy Weber didn't look nice. She looked hungry, like she'd sniff out a scandal in a heartbeat and plaster it across every tabloid from here to Lisbon. I watched her circle the room, chatting up Aunt Karen, then Tom, who was still wobbling from the beer and the chip incident. She was good, I'd give her that, all smiles and smooth questions, but I could feel her radar pinging. And when she made a beeline for Cristiano, I knew I was in trouble. He was by the fireplace now, surrounded by cousins who wanted selfies and stories about his latest hat trick. Lucy slid in like she belonged there, her pen tapping against her notebook. Mr. Ronaldo, so great to meet you. I'm Lucy, with the Pinewood Post. Mind if I ask about your time here? Small-town boy to soccer star, it's quite the leap. Cristiano flashed that $1,000,000 smile, easy as breathing. Not much to tell. Grew up kicking a ball with Jake, eating burnt cookies, getting into trouble. Simple life. She laughed, but her eyes were sharp. Simple, huh? Any old promises you left behind? Friends who stuck with you? His smile faltered, just for a second, and I felt it in my bones. Old promises. What the hell did that mean? I was too far to hear his answer, but I saw him glance my way, quick and fleeting, before turning back to her. My beer bottle slipped in my hand, cold against my sweaty palm. Did he know something? Had Tom blabbed? No, Tom was too smashed to connect the dots. But Lucy was scribbling again, and I had a sinking feeling she'd caught that look too. I needed to get out of there, clear my head, but before I could move, Jake clapped me on the shoulder. Ellie, you're zoning out. Come meet Lucy, she's cool. Wants to talk to the family. I forced a grin, my throat tight. Yeah, sure, lead the way. Up close, Lucy was even worse. She had this way of smiling that didn't reach her eyes, like she was already writing the headline in her head. Ellie, right? Jake's little sister. Must have been wild growing up with Cristiano around. Her tone was light, but her stare was a damn laser. Oh, you know, just normal kid stuff, I said, shrugging like it was no big deal. He was always Jake's shadow, not mine. Lie. Total lie. She nodded, jotting something down, and I wanted to rip that notebook out of her hands and chuck it into the fire. Interesting, she murmured, then perked up. Oh, I found this old photo in the hall. You, Jake, and Cristiano, maybe 15 years back? You're all so close together, it's sweet. She pulled it out of her bag, a grainy shot of us on the front lawn, me sandwiched between them, grinning like an idiot. My hair was a mess, braces glinting in the sun, but it was Cristiano's arm around my shoulders that made my chest tighten. Lucy tapped it with her pen. Looks like you two were tight. Any fun stories from back then? My mouth went dry. Not really. Just dumb teenager crap. She smirked, tucking the photo away. I bet there's more to it. I'll dig around. Thanks, Ellie. And with that, she was off, leaving me standing there, my beer warm and my nerves shot. I looked across the room. Cristiano was watching me again, his jaw tight, like he'd seen the photo too. Jake was oblivious, joking with Uncle Ray, but Lucy was already back at her notebook, scribbling faster now. That photo didn't add up, she'd said. What didn't add up? My head spun. The letter in my jacket felt heavier than ever, and I knew, deep down, this was just the beginning. Someone was going to figure it out. And when they did, I'd be screwed. Episode 3, The Weight of a Glance. Here's the thing about secrets, they don't just sit there quietly. They claw at you, itch under your skin, make every breath feel like a gamble. That's where I was, Ellie Martin, stuck in the middle of Mom's living room at this damn reunion, clutching a warm beer like it was a lifeline. Cristiano was across the room, laughing with Jake and some cousins, all easy charm and perfect teeth, while Lucy Weber, that shark of a journalist, prowled around with her notebook and her too-knowing smirk. She'd waved that old photo in my face, me sandwiched between Jake and Cristiano like some goofy teenage tripod, and now my brain was a mess. Did she see something I didn't? Did Cristiano? I kept replaying her words, looks like you two were tight. Yeah, Lucy, we were. Too tight. And that letter in my jacket was proof I'd been dumb enough to write it down. I needed to move, shake off the panic buzzing in my chest, so I weaved through the crowd, dodging Aunt Karen's hugs and Uncle Ray's off-key rendition of Sweet Caroline. The kitchen was my escape, all warm light and the smell of Mom's cookies, but I wasn't alone for long. Cristiano slipped in behind me, quiet as a cat, grabbing a cookie from the tray like he still lived here. Hiding out, Ellie, he asked, his voice teasing but soft, that accent curling around the edges. I jumped, nearly dropping my beer, and turned to face him. Bad move. Up close, he was too much, all broad shoulders and dark eyes that pinned me in place. Just needed a break, I said, forcing a laugh. Too many people asking why I'm not married yet. He grinned, taking a bite of the cookie, crumbs sticking to his lips in a way that shouldn't have been distracting but was. Yeah, I get that. They still ask me why I haven't settled down with some supermodel. He leaned against the counter, casual but close, and I could feel the heat off him. Guess we're both disappointing the family, huh? I snorted, relaxing a little despite myself. Oh, please, Cristiano. You're a global icon. I'm just the weirdo who stayed in Pinewood. His grin faded into something softer, almost sad. You're not a weirdo. You're you. Always were. My stomach flipped. What the hell did that mean? I opened my mouth to ask, but then his eyes flicked to mine, and it happened. A glance. One stupid, fleeting glance that lasted maybe 2 seconds but felt like forever. His gaze locked on mine, deep and searching, like he was peeling back every layer I'd built up over the years. I couldn't breathe, couldn't move, just stood there drowning in it. And for a second, I swore he felt it too, that old spark I'd buried under a decade of denial. Then he blinked, looked away, took another bite of his cookie like nothing happened. These are still the best, he mumbled, brushing crumbs off his shirt. I nodded, mute, my heart hammering so loud I was sure he could hear it. What was that? Was I imagining it? No way he knew about the letter, right? Before I could figure it out, the kitchen door swung open, and in walked Sarah, Jake's girlfriend, all blonde hair and sharp edges. She'd been with Jake for 2 years now, and I liked her fine, but tonight she looked off, her smile tight as she clocked me and Cristiano standing there. Oh, hey, you two, she said, her voice bright but brittle. Having a little private party? Cristiano laughed, easy as ever. Just stealing cookies, Sarah. Want one? He held out the tray, but she waved it off, her eyes sliding to me. No thanks. Ellie, you okay? You look flushed. I felt my face heat up even more. Fine, I snapped, sharper than I meant. Just hot in here. She raised an eyebrow, crossing her arms. Sure. Well, Jake's looking for you, Chris. Something about a photo op with the cousins. Cristiano nodded, giving me one last look, quick and unreadable, before heading out. Catch you later, Ellie. And he was gone, leaving me with Sarah, who didn't budge. She tilted her head, studying me like I was a puzzle she didn't like. You and him go way back, huh, she said, her tone too casual. I shrugged, sipping my beer to buy time. Yeah, with Jake. The three of us were thick as thieves back in the day. Lie. Half lie. She smirked, but it didn't reach her eyes. Thick as thieves. Cute. He ever talk about you, back when? My gut twisted. Not really. Why? She shrugged, picking at a nail. Just curious. You're his best friend's sister, but he looks at you like. I don't know. Like there's history. My beer bottle slipped in my hand, and I gripped it tighter. History? Nah, just kid stuff. You know how it is. She nodded, slow, like she didn't believe me. Right. Kid stuff. Then she turned to the sink, grabbing a glass of water, but I caught her reflection in the window. She was watching me, eyes narrow, and I knew she'd seen that glance too. I mumbled something about checking on Mom and bolted, my head spinning. Sarah wasn't dumb. She'd been with Jake long enough to read people, and now she was sniffing around me like I was hiding something. Which, yeah, I was. That letter was a time bomb, and every second it stayed in my pocket, the fuse got shorter. Back in the living room, the party was louder now, Tom slurring through a toast about family or whatever. I scanned the crowd. Cristiano was posing for pics with the cousins, Lucy hovering nearby, still scribbling. Jake was laughing, oblivious as ever. But Sarah came out behind me, her water glass in hand, and when she joined Jake, she whispered something in his ear. He glanced my way, frowning, and I felt the floor tilt. I needed to ditch that letter, get it out of my life before someone else found it. I slipped upstairs, quiet as I could, heading for my old bedroom. The house was a maze of memories, every creak a flashback to sneaking out with Jake and Cristiano, laughing under the stars. My room was the same, faded posters and a lumpy bed, like time froze when I left for college. I yanked the letter out, ready to rip it to shreds, when I saw it. A small wooden box on my dresser, one I didn't recognize. It was locked, a tiny padlock glinting in the dim light, and scratched into the lid was one word, secrets. My breath caught. What the hell? I didn't put that there. I shook it, heard something rattle inside, but before I could process it, footsteps thudded up the stairs. Ellie? Sarah's voice, sharp and close. You up here? I shoved the letter under my pillow, grabbed the box, and spun around just as she poked her head in. She smiled, but it was cold. Thought I saw you sneak off. What's that? She nodded at the box in my hands. I clutched it tighter, my mind racing. Just old junk. Nostalgia, you know? Her eyes flicked to the pillow, then back to me. Sure, she said, slow and deliberate. Nostalgia. And right then, I knew she wasn't letting this go. Episode 4, Cracks in the Facade. So there I was, Ellie Martin, standing in my old bedroom with my heart doing somersaults, clutching a mysterious locked box labeled secrets while Sarah, Jake's girlfriend, stared me down like she'd just caught me robbing a bank. The reunion downstairs was a dull roar, all laughter and clinking glasses, but up here it was just me, her, and a silence thick enough to choke on. That letter, the one I'd written to Cristiano all those years ago, was stuffed under my pillow, and I could feel it burning a hole through the mattress. Sarah's eyes flicked to the pillow, then back to the box in my hands, her lips curling into that tight little smile that said she knew more than she was letting on. Nostalgia, huh, she said, her voice all syrupy sweet but sharp underneath. Funny how the past keeps popping up tonight. I forced a laugh, casual as I could manage, even though my palms were slick with sweat. Yeah, well, old houses are full of ghosts, right? Just junk from when I was a kid. Total lie. I had no clue what this box was or how it got here, but I wasn't about to admit that to her. She stepped closer, her heels clicking on the hardwood, and I swear I could hear my own pulse. "Sure," she said, dragging the word out. "Must be weird, though. Cristiano being back, stirring up all those memories." She tilted her head, watching me like a cat with a cornered mouse. "You two seemed cozy in the kitchen." My stomach dropped. Cozy? That glance with Cristiano, that stupid, electric moment, she'd seen it. Maybe more. Cozy? I snorted, playing it off. "He was just stealing cookies, Sarah. You know how he is." She nodded, slow, her eyes never leaving mine. "Oh, I know how he is. Charming. Too charming, sometimes. Makes you wonder what he's hiding under all that swagger." My throat went dry. Was she fishing, or did she actually suspect something? Before I could answer, she turned to the door, tossing over her shoulder, "Jake's probably wondering where I am. Don't stay up here too long, Ellie. Party's downstairs." And she was gone, leaving me with the box, the letter, and a sinking feeling I'd just dodged a bullet. Or maybe stepped right into the line of fire. I sank onto the bed, the box heavy in my lap. What the hell was going on? First the letter slipping out, then Lucy with her damn photo, now Sarah acting like she'd cracked some code. And this box. I shook it again, heard that faint rattle, but the lock wouldn't budge. I didn't have time to figure it out, not with Sarah sniffing around, so I shoved it under the bed, next to a pile of old sneakers. The letter I kept with me, back in my jacket pocket, because ripping it up now felt too risky. I needed to get downstairs, act normal, keep my head in the game. But when I hit the stairs, I heard voices. Low, tense, coming from the hall. It was Cristiano and Jake, tucked by the coat closet, their backs to the party. Jake's voice was gruff, like always. "You sure you're good, man? You've been off all night." Cristiano sighed, running a hand through his hair. "Just tired, Jake. Long flight, big crowd. You know how it is." Jake clapped him on the shoulder. "Yeah, well, don't flake on me now. We've got that meeting in the city tomorrow. Big sponsors." Cristiano nodded, but then he said something that stopped me cold. "Ever miss it, though? The old days? When it was just us, no pressure, no lost chances?" Jake laughed, short and sharp. "Lost chances? What, like when you botched that free kick in 10th grade? Come on, Chris, you're living the dream." Cristiano didn't laugh. He just looked at Jake, his jaw tight, and muttered, "Not all of it." My breath hitched. Lost chances. What did that mean? Was he talking about soccer, or something else? Something like me? I ducked back before they saw me, my mind racing. He couldn't know about the letter. No way. But that look in the kitchen, that weight in his voice, it was gnawing at me. I slipped into the living room, blending into the chaos, but my eyes kept finding him. He was back with the cousins now, smiling for pics, but it didn't reach his eyes. Something was off, and I wasn't the only one who noticed. Sarah was by Jake's side again, whispering something, her hand on his arm. He frowned, glanced at me across the room, and I swear I saw a flicker of doubt in his face. Great. Just great. I grabbed another beer, chugged half of it, trying to drown the panic. The night dragged on, Tom stumbling into a table, Mom fussing over the cookie tray, Lucy still scribbling like she was writing a novel. I kept my distance from Cristiano, from Sarah, from everyone, but it didn't matter. The cracks were showing. My secret, my stupid teenage heart, it was seeping out, and I couldn't stop it. Then it got worse. I was by the fireplace, pretending to listen to Uncle Ray ramble about his fishing trip, when I heard a sob. Quiet, choked, coming from the hall. I slipped away, curious despite myself, and found Jake there, alone, his back against the wall. His eyes were red, his fists clenched, and when he saw me, he swiped at his face like a kid caught crying. "Ellie," he muttered, voice rough. "What are you doing here?" I froze, caught off guard. "I heard something." "You okay?" He laughed, bitter and broken. "Yeah, fine. Just too much beer, I guess." Lie. Jake didn't cry over beer. Not ever. "Jake, come on," I said, stepping closer. "What's wrong?" He shook his head, hard, like he could shake it off. "Nothing. Forget it. Go back to the party." But his voice cracked, and I saw it, the weight he was carrying. Was it Cristiano? Sarah? Me? Before I could push, he straightened up, brushed past me, and headed for the porch. "Need air," he mumbled, and he was gone. I stood there, stunned, the letter hot in my pocket, the box upstairs looming in my mind. What the hell was happening to us? This was supposed to be a reunion, not a damn unraveling. Then I heard it. Footsteps again, soft but steady, coming from the stairs. I turned, expecting Sarah or maybe Lucy, but it was worse. Mom poked her head out, holding something in her hand. "Ellie, honey, I found this under your pillow when I was grabbing extra blankets." "What's this letter to Cristiano about?" My blood turned to ice. She held it up, the crumpled envelope, my handwriting glaring back at me. And behind her, coming down the stairs, was Sarah, her eyes wide and gleaming with something dangerous. Episode 5, The Ghost of Yesterday. Okay, let's be real. There are moments in life where you just know you're screwed, like the universe has flipped the table and all your cards are face up, scattered in the dirt. That's where I was, Ellie Martin, staring at my mom holding that damn letter, the one I'd poured my teenage heart into for Cristiano Ronaldo, while Sarah loomed behind her like a vulture circling a fresh kill. The reunion downstairs was still humming, all laughter and off-key singing, but up here in the hallway, it was a different story. My mouth opened, closed, opened again, fishing for words that wouldn't come. Mom's face was all soft confusion, her glasses slipping down her nose as she waved the envelope. "Ellie, honey, what's this?" "I didn't mean to snoop, just found it under your pillow." "To Cristiano?" "What's it say?" I lunged for it, snatching it from her hand before Sarah could get a better look, my voice tripping over itself. "It's nothing, Mom, just some dumb thing I wrote ages ago. Kid stuff, you know, silly crush crap." Lie. Half lie. My hands shook as I stuffed it back into my jacket, but Sarah's smirk told me she wasn't buying it. "Kid stuff," she echoed, her tone dripping with something I couldn't pin down, curiosity or spite or both. "Funny how that keeps coming up tonight." Mom frowned, glancing between us. "Well, it's sweet, I suppose. Young love and all that. Did you ever tell him, Ellie?" My stomach lurched. "No," I snapped, too fast, too loud. "Never. It's nothing, okay? Drop it." Mom raised her hands, backing off. All right, I won't pry. Just thought it was cute. I'll go check on the cookies." She shuffled downstairs, leaving me with Sarah, who didn't move. Her eyes were locked on me, sharp and gleaming, like she'd just found the missing piece to a puzzle I didn't want solved. "You're jumpy," she said, crossing her arms. "Over nothing, huh?" I forced a shrug, my heart hammering. "Told you, it's old news. Why do you care?" She stepped closer, voice low. "I don't. Just wondering why you're so twitchy around him. And why Jake's out there crying his eyes out." My breath caught. She'd seen that too? Before I could answer, she turned on her heel and sauntered off, leaving me reeling. I slumped against the wall, the letter hot in my pocket, that locked box still nagging at me from under the bed. Jake crying. Sarah digging. Mom finding the letter. This night was a train wreck, and I was tied to the tracks. I needed air, space, something to stop the spiral, so I headed for the back porch, slipping past the party chaos. The cool night hit me like a slap, stars winking overhead, and I leaned on the railing, trying to breathe. That's when I heard the gravel crunch. Not Cristiano this time, not Sarah. It was Mike, family friend extraordinaire, all lanky limbs and graying hair, ambling up with a beer in his hand and a grin that didn't quite fit. "Ellie Martin, hiding from the fun," he said, his voice rough from too many cigarettes. I managed a weak smile. "Something like that." "You?" He shrugged, leaning next to me. "Same. Too many loudmouths in there. Saw you bolt, figured you needed a breather." Mike had been around forever, a fixture at our house back when Jake and Cristiano were kicking balls in the yard and I was tagging along, the annoying little sister. He'd always been cool, quiet, the guy who'd sneak us candy when Mom wasn't looking. But tonight, he felt off. His eyes kept darting to me, like he was sizing me up. "Rough night," I muttered, sipping my beer. He nodded, slow. "Yeah, I get that. Past has a way of sneaking up, doesn't it?" My gut twisted. What was that supposed to mean? Before I could ask, he kept going, voice dropping low. "You know, I always knew, Ellie." I froze, beer halfway to my mouth. "Knew what?" He smirked, taking a long pull from his bottle. "About you and Cristiano. That crush you had. Watched you moon over him for years, all those summers. Never said a word, but I saw it." My blood turned to ice. "He knew? Mike, of all people?" I laughed, shaky and fake. "What? No way, Mike, that's crazy. I was just a kid." He didn't laugh back. Just looked at me, steady and sure. "Kid or not, it was real. Saw it in your eyes every time he walked in. Still do, maybe." My chest tightened, memories flooding in uninvited. Me at 15, trailing after Jake and Cristiano, blushing when Cristiano ruffled my hair, writing that letter in the dead of night because I couldn't keep it in. Mike leaned closer, voice barely a whisper. "Ever tell him?" I shook my head, hard. "No. Never. And you better not either." He chuckled, dark and low. "My lips are sealed. But secrets like that? They don't stay buried forever." I wanted to scream, to shove him off the porch, anything to stop this night from getting worse. But before I could, he straightened up, clapping me on the shoulder. "Good seeing you, Ellie. Don't let the ghosts get you." And he wandered off into the dark, leaving me alone with my beer and a past I couldn't outrun. Mike knew. All this time, he'd known. Had he told anyone? Jake? Cristiano? My head spun, flashes of those summers hitting me hard. Cristiano teaching me to kick a ball, his laugh when I tripped, the way he'd linger sometimes, like he saw me too. Was that real, or just my dumb kid brain making it up? I didn't have time to figure it out. The porch door creaked, and I turned, expecting Sarah or Mom, but it was Jake. His eyes were still red, his jaw tight, and he looked at me like he didn't know me anymore. "Ellie," he said, voice rough. "We need to talk." My heart sank. The letter, Mike, Sarah, it was all closing in. And then he said it, quiet and cold. "What's this about you and Chris? Sarah said something's up, and I heard you crying earlier. What aren't you telling me?" I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. Because right then, from the shadows by the house, I saw movement. Someone else was listening. And Mike's words echoed in my head, I always knew. Episode 6, Tangled Lies and Half-Truths. So there I was, Ellie Martin, standing on the back porch with my brother Jake staring me down like I'd just kicked his dog, while the night air buzzed with crickets and the weight of too many secrets. His eyes were still red from whatever had him crying earlier, and now he was asking questions I couldn't answer, not without lighting a match to everything I'd kept buried. "What's this about you and Chris? He'd said, his voice all gravel and suspicion, thanks to Sarah stirring the pot. And then there was that shadow by the house, someone lurking just out of sight, listening. My skin prickled, the letter in my jacket feeling like a brick, and Mike's words from minutes ago looping in my head, secrets don't stay buried forever. Yeah, no kidding, Mike. I forced a laugh, shaky and thin, trying to dodge the bullet. Jake, come on, what's Sarah even talking about? Nothing's up with me and Cristiano. She's just, I don't know, seeing things. Lie. Big fat lie. He didn't budge, crossing his arms, his jaw tight. Ellie, don't bullshit me. She said you've been weird all night, sneaking off, acting cagey. And I heard you crying in the kitchen earlier, after that mess with Tom. What's going on? My chest squeezed. He'd heard that? I thought I'd been alone, muffling sobs into a dish towel after the letter slipped out. I wasn't crying, I said, too quick. Tom just pissed me off, you know how he is. Drunk and dumb. Jake's eyes narrowed. You tackled him over a chip bowl, Ellie. That's not you. And now Sarah's saying you and Chris were all cozy, and Mom's got some letter you wrote him? What the hell? My blood ran cold. Mom told him? Or Sarah did? Either way, the walls were closing in. I glanced at the shadow again, still there, unmoving, and my voice dropped to a hiss. It's nothing, Jake. A stupid note from when I was a kid, that's all. Can we drop this? He stepped closer, towering over me like he used to when we'd fight over the remote. No, we can't. You're my sister, and he's my best friend. If something's up, I need to know. I wanted to scream, to shove the letter in his face and be done with it, but that shadow stopped me. Who was it? Sarah? Mike? Worse? Before I could decide, headlights cut through the dark, a car pulling up the drive. Jake cursed under his breath. That's gotta be Lucy leaving. She's been hounding Chris all night. Relief hit me, a tiny lifeline. Go deal with her, then. I'm fine, I swear. He hesitated, then nodded, stomping off toward the front, leaving me alone. Or so I thought. The shadow shifted, footsteps crunching, and out stepped Lucy Weber, notebook in hand, her smile sharp as a blade. Ellie, she said, all fake warmth. Fancy meeting you out here. Trouble in paradise? My stomach dropped. She'd heard everything. I straightened up, clutching my beer like a shield. Just talking to my brother, Lucy. What's it to you? She tapped her pen against her notebook, stepping closer. Oh, plenty. I've been piecing together a story about Cristiano's roots, and you're a big part of it, turns out. That photo I showed you? Got me thinking. You two were close, weren't you? I swallowed hard, my mind racing. We were kids. Jake's friends were my friends. That's it. She smirked, flipping open her notebook. Sure. But then there's this. She pulled out that damn photo again, the one from 15 years back, me grinning between Jake and Cristiano, his arms slung around me. She tapped it, her nail clicking. Look at this. He's not just standing there, Ellie. He's holding you. Like he didn't want to let go. And tonight, the way he looks at you? I'm not blind. My breath hitched. She was fishing, but she was good. Too good. You're reaching, I said, voice tight. It's a picture. Means nothing. She tilted her head, eyes gleaming. Maybe. But I heard Jake just now. A letter? Crying? Sounds like there's more to dig up. Care to fill me in? Panic clawed at me. She was relentless, and I was cornered. There's nothing to tell, I snapped, stepping back. Write your story, Lucy, but leave me out of it. She didn't flinch, just scribbled something down. Oh, I'll write it. And I'll find out what's in that letter, one way or another. Thanks for the chat, Ellie. She turned to go, then paused, tossing over her shoulder, by the way, Cristiano's acting weird too. Keeps looking at the house like he's lost something. Wonder what that's about. And with that, she was gone, her car peeling out, leaving me shaking in the dark. I slumped against the railing, my head spinning. Lucy was a bloodhound, and she'd sniffed out blood. That photo, Jake's questions, Sarah's whispers, it was all piling up. And Cristiano. What did she mean, acting weird? I glanced at the house, the party still loud, and saw him through the window. He was by the fireplace, surrounded by cousins, but his eyes were on the porch. On me. My heart skipped. Did he know Lucy was out here? Did he hear Jake? I needed to talk to him, figure out what was in his head, but before I could move, someone else did. Cristiano set his drink down, muttered something to the group, and headed for the front door. Fast. Too fast. I bolted after him, weaving through the crowd, my jacket flapping, the letter still there like a curse. By the time I hit the driveway, he was at his car, a sleek black thing that screamed money, his phone pressed to his ear. His voice was low, tense, too quiet to catch, but his face was all hard lines, nothing like the easy charm he'd worn all night. He hung up, slammed the door, and peeled out, tires kicking gravel, leaving me standing there, breathless and confused. What the hell was that? Who called him? My phone buzzed in my pocket, and I yanked it out, expecting Jake or Mom, but it was a text from an unknown number. Check your room, it said. You're not the only one with secrets. My blood turned to ice. The locked box. The letter. Lucy? Mike? Someone else? I looked back at the house, the party still raging, and knew I had to go up there. Whatever was happening, it was bigger than me now. And Cristiano's sudden exit? That was no coincidence. Episode 7, The Edge of Confession. Alright, let's cut the crap. I was standing in the driveway, Ellie Martin, watching Cristiano's taillights vanish into the night, my phone buzzing in my hand with that cryptic text, check your room. You're not the only one with secrets. The reunion was still thumping behind me, all laughter and spilled beer, but out here it was just me, the gravel, and a sinking feeling that everything was about to blow up. Cristiano peeling out like that, after some hushed phone call, wasn't random. Lucy sniffing around, Sarah stirring the pot, Jake's tears, Mike's bombshell, and now this? My head was a mess, the letter in my jacket like a live wire, and that locked box upstairs calling my name. I had to move. I slipped back inside, dodging Tom's sloppy hug and Mom's worried glance, and took the stairs 2 at a time. My old room was dark, the party noise muffled through the floor, and I flicked on the lamp, my hands shaking. The box was still under the bed, right where I'd left it, that scratched secrets glaring up at me. I yanked it out, shook it again, heard that rattle, but the lock held tight. No key, no clue, just a taunting little mystery. The text burned in my mind. You're not the only one. Who sent it? What did they know? I was about to smash the damn thing open when the door creaked behind me. I spun around, heart in my throat, and there was Cristiano, leaning in the doorway, his face half-shadowed. Ellie, he said, voice low and rough, that accent thicker now, like he was too tired to smooth it out. Thought I'd find you here. I clutched the box tighter, my pulse racing. Cristiano? What the hell? You just tore out of here like a bat out of hell, and now you're back? He stepped inside, shutting the door soft, his eyes flicking to the box, then to me. Had to take a call. Business. Didn't mean to spook you. Lie. I could smell it on him, that twitchy edge he was trying to hide. Business, I echoed, skeptical. At midnight? Come on. He ran a hand through his hair, pacing a step, then stopped, looking at me like he was deciding something. All right, fine. Not business. Just needed a minute. This place, all these people, it's a lot. I set the box on the dresser, crossing my arms. Yeah, well, you're not the only one losing it tonight. Jake's a wreck, Sarah's on my ass, and Lucy's out there playing detective. What's your deal, Cristiano? He sighed, heavy, and sank onto the edge of my bed, elbows on his knees. My deal? Same as yours, maybe. Past creeping up. You feel it too, don't you? My breath caught. Did he mean the letter? That glance in the kitchen? I sat next to him, close but not too close, the mattress dipping under us. Feel what? I asked, voice barely steady. He looked at me, those dark eyes cutting right through, and for a second, we were kids again, sprawled on this bed with Jake, plotting dumb pranks. This, he said, gesturing vaguely. Us. Here. Like nothing's changed, but everything has. My heart thudded. Everything's changed, I muttered. You're a damn superstar now. I'm just here. He shook his head, sharp. Not to me, Ellie. You were never just here. I froze. What the hell was he saying? The air got thick, charged, and I could feel that old pull, the one I'd stuffed into that letter and tried to forget. Cristiano, I started, but he cut me off, voice dropping low. Remember that summer, by the lake? You fell in, and I pulled you out, and you laughed so hard you cried? I think about that sometimes. More than I should. My chest tightened, memories flooding back. Me, 16, dripping wet, his hands on my arms, his grin close enough to taste. Yeah, I whispered. I remember. He nodded, slow. I should have said something back then. Should've. I don't know. Been braver. My mouth went dry. Was this happening? Was he confessing something, or was I reading too much into it? Braver about what? I pressed, leaning closer, my knee brushing his. He looked at me, raw and open, and I swear I saw it, that spark I'd dreamed of. About you, he said, so quiet I almost missed it. Always you. Time stopped. My heart slammed against my ribs, and I wanted to grab him, kiss him, spill everything right there. But before I could, the door flew open, and Jake stormed in, his face a thundercloud. Ellie, what the hell's going on? He barked, eyes darting between us. Sarah said you're up here, and now Chris is too? What is this? Cristiano shot up, hands raised. Jake, relax, man. Just talking. Jake's fists clenched, his voice shaking. Talking? Alone? After all the weird shit tonight? Ellie, you gonna tell me what's up, or do I have to guess? I stood, panic clawing at me, the letter screaming in my pocket. Jake, it's nothing, okay? Calm down. But he wasn't calming down. He stepped closer, glaring at Cristiano. You're my best friend, man. My sister. If there's something I don't know, you better tell me now. The room spun. Cristiano's confession, Jake's anger, that damn box on the dresser, it was all crashing together. Jake, I started, voice cracking, but then my phone buzzed again. Another text, same unknown number. Look under the bed. My blood turned to ice. I glanced at Cristiano, then Jake, both of them waiting, and I knew I was teetering on the edge. Give me a sec, I muttered, dropping to my knees, fumbling under the bed. My fingers hit paper, not the box, and I pulled it out. Another letter, this one fresher, my name scrawled on it in handwriting I didn't recognize. I stood, hands trembling, and Jake snatched it from me before I could stop him. What's this? He snapped, tearing it open. His eyes scanned it, widened, then locked on me, furious. Ellie, what the fuck? This is about you and Chris. From him? He waved it at Cristiano, who looked as stunned as I felt. I didn't write that, Cristiano said, voice hard. Jake, I swear. But Jake wasn't listening. He threw the letter at my feet, storming out, and I grabbed it, reading the first line, "Ellie, I've always known how you felt." My world tilted. Someone else knew. And they were tearing us apart. Episode 8, Unraveling Bonds. Here's the raw truth. Some nights, you watch everything you've built crack apart, and there's not a damn thing you can do but stand there, holding the pieces. That's where I was, Ellie Martin, in my childhood bedroom, the air thick with tension and the sting of betrayal. Jake had just stormed out, his footsteps thundering down the stairs after he'd thrown that second letter at my feet, his eyes blazing with a mix of hurt and fury I'd never seen before. Cristiano stood beside me, his jaw tight, staring at the crumpled paper like it was a grenade. The reunion downstairs was still a dull hum, oblivious to the mess up here, but in this room, it felt like the world was ending. I snatched the letter up, my hands shaking, and read it again. "Ellie, I've always known how you felt." He did too. Time to stop pretending. It wasn't my handwriting. It wasn't Cristiano's either. So who the hell wrote it? "Cristiano," I said, my voice barely holding together, "you swear you didn't do this?" He turned to me, his face a storm of confusion and something deeper, maybe guilt. "Ellie, I told you, I didn't write it. I don't know what's going on, but I wouldn't," he trailed off, rubbing his neck, that easy charm gone. "You believe me, right?" I wanted to. God, I wanted to, after what he'd just said minutes ago, "Always you," ringing in my ears like a confession I'd dreamed of for years. But Jake's reaction, the words on this page, it was all too much. "I don't know what to believe," I muttered, sinking onto the bed, the letter clutched in my fist. "Jake thinks we've been lying to him. He's losing it." Cristiano paced, his boots scuffing the old rug. "He's my best friend, Ellie. I'd never do that to him. Whatever this is, someone's screwing with us." His voice cracked, raw and desperate, and I saw it then, the weight he carried, the fame and the past all tangled up. I opened my mouth to say something, anything, but the door swung open again, and there was Jake, back with fire in his eyes and the first letter, my letter, in his hand. Mom must have given it to him, or Sarah, or hell, maybe he'd dug it out himself. "Found this downstairs," he snarled, waving it at me. "Your handwriting, Ellie. Dear Cristiano, I think I'm in love with you." What the fuck is this? My stomach dropped through the floor. "Jake," I started, standing, but he cut me off, turning on Cristiano. "And you, man, you knew? All this time, my sister's pining over you, and you're what, playing along? Laughing behind my back?" Cristiano stepped forward, hands up. "Jake, no, I didn't know, not like that. I swear, I just found out tonight." Lie? Truth? I couldn't tell anymore, and neither could Jake. He laughed, bitter and sharp. "Bullshit. You two up here, all cozy, and now these letters? I'm not an idiot." He threw my letter at Cristiano, who caught it, his face paling as he skimmed it. "Jake, listen," I pleaded, my voice breaking. "That's from years ago, when I was a kid. I never sent it, never told him. It's nothing." He spun on me, eyes wild. "Nothing? You wrote you loved him, Ellie. And this new one says he knew? How's that nothing?" I flinched, the second letter burning in my hand. "I don't know who wrote this one, okay? Someone's messing with us, I swear." He shook his head, backing toward the door. "I trusted you. Both of you. And now I don't know what's real." Cristiano stepped closer, voice low. "Jake, you're my brother, man. I'd never hurt you. Whatever's happening, we'll figure it out." But Jake wasn't hearing it. Figure it out? My best friend and my sister, hiding this? I'm done. He stormed out again, this time for real, the slam of the front door echoing up to us. I sank back onto the bed, tears stinging my eyes, the letters crumpled in my lap. Cristiano stood there, frozen, then knelt in front of me, his hands hovering like he wanted to touch me but didn't dare. "Ellie," he said, soft and wrecked. "I didn't know. Not back then. Maybe I felt something, but I never. I wouldn't have let it get this far." I looked at him, his face close, and saw the truth in it, or at least what he believed was true. "Then why say it now?" I whispered. "Why tell me always you?" He swallowed hard, eyes locked on mine. "Because it's true. I didn't know what you felt, but I felt it too. And I buried it, for Jake, for everything. But tonight, seeing you, it's all back." My breath hitched, a sob catching in my throat. "And now he hates us." Cristiano shook his head, fierce. "He's hurt, not hating. We'll fix it." "But this letter, the new one, who wrote it?" I wiped my eyes, staring at the paper. "I don't know. Mike knew about my crush, maybe Lucy dug something up, or Sarah's playing games. Someone's pulling strings." Before he could answer, footsteps thudded up the stairs, lighter this time, and Sarah poked her head in, her face a mask of fake concern. "Ellie? Cristiano? Everything okay?" "Jake just tore out of here, said he's done with you both." My blood boiled. "Sarah," I snapped, standing. "What did you tell him?" "You've been on me all night," whispering in his ear. She blinked, all innocent. "Me? I just said you've been acting weird, and he found that letter downstairs. Not my fault he's upset." Cristiano stood too, voice hard. "Sarah, if you're behind this, just say it." She laughed, sharp and cold. "Behind what? Your little drama? Please, I don't care enough. But I did hear something interesting from Lucy earlier. Said she's got a lead on some old story about you too. Maybe that's your mystery writer." My gut twisted. Lucy again? Or was Sarah lying, covering her tracks? She smirked, stepping back. "Anyway, I've got my own secrets to keep. Night, you two." She slipped out, leaving us staring at each other, the air heavy with unspoken words. "She's hiding something," I said, voice low. Cristiano nodded, slow. "Yeah. But so are we, Ellie. What do we do now?" I looked at the letters, my past and someone else's game tangled together, and felt the cracks widen. Jake was gone, furious, and we were left holding the mess. Then my phone buzzed again. Another text, same unknown number. "Ask him about the scar." I looked up at Cristiano, his face still close, and saw it then, faint under his jaw, a thin white line I'd never questioned. "Cristiano," I said, voice trembling. "What's this scar from?" His eyes widened, just for a second, and I knew we weren't done unraveling yet. Episode 9, The Price of Envy. So here's the deal, sometimes you're standing on the edge of a cliff, and instead of stepping back, someone shoves you right off. That's how it felt, Ellie Martin, in my old bedroom with Cristiano Ronaldo staring at me, his dark eyes wide as I pointed at that faint scar under his jaw and asked, "What's this from?" The air was still buzzing from Jake storming out, furious over the letters, my confession from years ago and that mystery note tearing us apart. Sarah had just slinked off with her smug little "I've got my own secrets" line, and now this text, "Ask him about the scar," had my head spinning. The reunion downstairs was fading into a dull hum, but up here, it was just us, the weight of the past, and a question I didn't know if I wanted answered. Cristiano touched the scar, barely a whisper of a line, and his face shifted, something raw flickering there. "Ellie," he said, voice low and rough, "why were you asking about this now?" I held up my phone, the text glowing accusingly. "Because someone told me to." Same number that sent me upstairs, where we found that second letter. "What's it mean, Cristiano?" He sank back onto the bed, rubbing his face like he could scrub away the night. "It's nothing big. Just a dumb thing from back then. You remember that fight with Mike, summer before senior year?" My gut twisted. I did. Vaguely. Jake and Cristiano, 17, scrapping with Mike by the lake over something stupid, beer cans and bruised egos. Yeah, I said, sitting next to him. You and Jake ganged up on him. What's that got to do with this? He sighed, heavy, staring at the floor. Wasn't just a fight. Mike swung a bottle, caught me here. Nothing serious, but it bled like hell. You were there, Ellie, freaking out, trying to patch me up with that ratty towel. My breath caught. I saw it now, me 15, hands shaking as I pressed that towel to his jaw, his blood on my fingers, his grin shaky but real. You said it was fine, I muttered. Told me to chill. He nodded, a ghost of a smile. Yeah, because you looked like you were gonna faint. Didn't want you worrying. I swallowed hard, the memory sharp. So why's someone bringing it up now? Before he could answer, the door creaked again, and I braced myself for Jake or Sarah, but it was worse. Lucy Weber slipped in, notebook in hand, her smile all teeth. Ellie, Cristiano, hope I'm not interrupting, she said, voice dripping with fake charm. Heard some yelling, thought I'd check in. My blood boiled. Lucy, get out. This isn't your story. She didn't budge, leaning against the wall. Oh, but it is. Small-town secrets, soccer stars past, it's gold. And I just got a tip. Something about a fight, a scar, and a girl who never got over it. My heart stopped. She knew. Or thought she did. Cristiano stood, voice hard. Lucy, you're fishing. Leave us alone. She smirked, tapping her pen. Not fishing, Cristiano. I've got sources. And Sarah's been chatty. Said Ellie's been hiding something big, and Jake's pissed enough to confirm it. Care to comment? I shot up, fists clenched. Sarah? She's feeding you this? Lucy shrugged, smug. She didn't have to say much. Just dropped a hint about old feelings, and I connected the dots. That scar's a nice touch, though. Adds drama. I wanted to throttle her, but Cristiano grabbed my arm, holding me back. She's not worth it, Ellie, he muttered, his grip firm. Lucy scribbled something, then looked up. Oh, and Sarah mentioned a letter. Said it's why Jake left. I'll find it, you know. Night, you too. She slipped out, leaving us in stunned silence. Sarah, I hissed, yanking free from Cristiano. She's behind this, Cristiano. She's jealous, pissed, something, and she's screwing us over. He nodded, slow, eyes dark. Maybe. She's been off all night. But why? I paced, the letters burning in my pocket. Because she saw us in the kitchen, that look. She's with Jake, but she doesn't like me near you. And now she's got Lucy on it. We didn't have time to unpack it. Downstairs, the party was winding down, voices fading, but a new sound cut through, a car engine revving. I bolted to the window, Cristiano behind me, and saw Jake's truck peeling out again, Sarah in the passenger seat, her blonde hair catching the porch light. She's with him, I said, voice tight. After all this, she's still playing the good girlfriend. Cristiano cursed under his breath. She's not done, Ellie. Whatever she told Lucy, it's out there now. I turned to him, desperate. Then what do we do? Jake's gone, Lucy's got a story, and these letters, someone's still pulling strings. He stepped closer, his hand brushing mine, tentative but real. We find out who. Starting with Sarah. She's got no reason to hate you this much unless there's more. My mind raced. More? What more? Then it hit me, something she'd said earlier, I've got my own secrets. Was this about me, or her? Before I could say it, my phone buzzed again. Another text. He's not telling you everything. Ask about the lake. I showed it to Cristiano, my voice shaking. Cristiano, what else happened that night? At the lake? His face paled, just for a second, and he looked away. Ellie, it's not, it's complicated. I grabbed his arm, fierce. Uncomplicate it. Now. He sighed, heavy, and sat back down. After the fight, Mike was pissed. Said something about you, how you were always around, mooning over me. I decked him for it. Told him to shut up. But later, by the lake, he laughed, said he'd tell you I didn't care. I didn't know if he did. My chest tightened. Mike again. And did he? Cristiano shook his head. Don't think so. But I never forgot it. Felt like I let you down. I stared at him, the pieces shifting. Mike knew. Sarah knew something. Lucy was running with it. And now Cristiano was gone again, his car missing from the drive when I checked the window. Where'd you go? I asked, voice small. He looked at me, haunted. To find Jake. Fix this. But I can't find him, Ellie. He's not answering. My heart sank. The night was unraveling, and we were losing everything. Sarah's envy had lit the fuse, and now it was burning us all down. Episode 10, Echoes in the Dark. Here's the thing about falling apart, it's not loud or dramatic like in the movies. It's quiet, a slow unraveling that creeps up until you're standing in the wreckage, wondering how you got there. That's me, Ellie Martin, alone in my old bedroom, the echo of Cristiano's words still hanging in the air after he bolted to find Jake. I can't find him, Ellie, he'd said, his voice rough with something like fear, and then he was gone, his car peeling out into the night. The reunion downstairs was a ghost now, just a few stragglers laughing too loud, while up here, I was left with 2 letters, a locked box labeled secrets, and a phone that kept buzzing with cryptic texts. The latest one, he's not telling you everything. Ask about the lake, had pried open a crack in Cristiano's story, and I couldn't shake it. Mike, the fight, the scar, it was all tangled up in my past, and I needed answers. I sank onto the bed, the letters crumpled in my lap, and tried to piece it together. Cristiano said Mike taunted him about me that night by the lake, years ago, and he'd decked him for it. But there was more, something he wasn't saying, and I could feel it gnawing at me. Jake was out there, hurt and furious, Sarah was playing some game, Lucy was sniffing around, and now Cristiano was chasing shadows. I couldn't sit still. I grabbed my jacket, the letters stuffed inside, and headed out, the locked box left behind for now. The night was cold, stars sharp overhead, and I needed to find him, figure out what he was hiding, because if I didn't, this whole mess would swallow us whole. The driveway was empty except for Mom's old sedan, so I took it, the engine sputtering as I pulled onto the road. Pinewood streets were dead this late, just flickering streetlights and the occasional dog barking, but I knew where to go. The lake. It was always the lake with us, back when we were kids, where we'd swim and fight and dream. If Cristiano was looking for Jake, that's where he'd start, and maybe I'd find something there too. The drive was short, 10 minutes of winding roads and my own ragged breathing, and when I got there, the water was a black mirror, reflecting the moon in jagged pieces. I parked by the old dock, the wood creaking under my boots as I stepped out. Memories hit hard, me and Jake and Cristiano, splashing and laughing, the summer before everything changed. That fight with Mike, the scar, it was here, and I could almost hear it, the shouts, the crack of glass. Then I saw it, headlights cutting through the trees. Cristiano's car, parked sloppy by the shore, but no sign of him. My heart thudded as I walked closer, calling out, Cristiano? You here? Nothing but the wind and the lapping water. His car was empty, door ajar, keys still in the ignition. Weird. Too weird. I scanned the shore, my phone flashlight shaking in my hand, and spotted footprints in the mud, big ones, heading into the trees. I followed, my gut screaming this was dumb, but I couldn't stop. The trail led to a clearing, a spot we used to camp, and there he was, Cristiano, sitting on a fallen log, his head in his hands. Ellie, he said, looking up, voice wrecked. What are you doing here? I stepped closer, the light catching his face, pale and drawn. Looking for you. You tore out, said you couldn't find Jake? What's going on? He stood, slow, like it hurt. I thought he'd be here. He always comes to the lake when he's pissed. But he's not, and I don't know where he is. I crossed my arms, the letters heavy in my pocket. Cristiano, tell me the rest. About that night, the fight. The text said you're holding back. His eyes widened, just a flicker, then he looked away, jaw tight. Ellie, it's not worth digging up. Just a stupid fight. I stepped closer, fierce. Bullshit. Someone's using it against us, sending these texts, writing that letter. What happened? He sighed, heavy, and sat back down, staring at the ground. After I hit Mike, he didn't just laugh it off. He said he'd tell you I didn't give a damn about you, that I was just humoring the little sister. I lost it. Pushed him into the water, held him there a second too long. Jake pulled me off, yelled at me to stop. Mike was fine, coughing and pissed, but it scared me. I didn't know I could go that far. My breath caught, the image sharp and ugly. Why didn't you tell me? He looked up, eyes dark. Because I didn't want you to see me like that. And then, there was more. Next day, I found out something else. I frowned, leaning in. What? He hesitated, voice dropping. Mike said he saw me watching you, all summer. Said I was the one with the crush, not just you. I denied it, told him he was full of it, but he was right. I felt it too, Ellie, and I hated myself for it. Jake's my brother. I couldn't. My chest tightened, a mix of shock and something softer, older. Cristiano, I whispered, but he kept going, voice raw. Then the injury happened. Few months later, playing ball, I took a bad hit, messed up my knee. Docs said I might never play again. You were there, every day, bringing me soup, talking me through it. I didn't deserve it, not after pushing you away. I remembered that too, him limping, angry, me sitting by his bed, pretending it was just friendship. You pulled through, I said, soft. Made it big. He nodded, bitter. Yeah, but I left you behind. And now it's all coming back. Before I could answer, my phone buzzed again. Another text. He's closer than you think. I showed it to Cristiano, my hands trembling. What the hell does that mean? He stood, scanning the trees. Jake? Someone else? Then we heard it, a rustle, footsteps, and a figure stumbled out, not Jake, but Mike, beer in hand, eyes glassy. Well, he slurred, grinning. Look who's here. Digging up old bones, huh? My blood ran cold. Mike, I snapped. You sending these texts? He laughed, dark and sloppy. Me? Nah. But I know who might. Found this by the lake earlier. He tossed something at my feet, a third letter, sealed, my name on it in shaky script. Cristiano grabbed it before I could, tearing it open, his face paling as he read. Ellie, he said, voice tight. This isn't from me either. But it's bad. I snatched it, the words blurring through my tears, you'll lose them both if you don't stop. The night closed in, and I knew we were running out of time. Episode 11, The Stranger's Game. Alright, let's get real here. You ever feel like the ground's shifting under you, and every step just sinks you deeper into the muck? That's me, Ellie Martin, standing by the lake with Cristiano Ronaldo, the moonlight glinting off the water while Mike swayed in front of us, drunk and grinning like a jackass. He'd just tossed a third letter at my feet, and now Cristiano was holding it, his face pale as he read the words that hit me like a punch, you'll lose them both if you don't stop. My hands shook as I snatched it from him, the shaky script blurring through the tears I couldn't hold back. This wasn't my handwriting, wasn't Cristiano's, but it knew too much, cut too deep. The reunion was a distant memory now, the night stretching into something dark and twisted, and I was done playing catch-up. "Mike," I snapped, stepping toward him, my voice sharp enough to slice. "What the hell is this? You said you found it here? Stop screwing around and tell me." He raised his hands, beer sloshing, that sloppy grin still plastered on. "Easy, Ellie, don't shoot the messenger. Saw it by the dock, figured it's part of your little soap opera. You and Cristiano, always the stars." Cristiano moved beside me, his voice low and hard. "Mike, if you're behind this, just say it. No more games." Mike laughed, a rough, ugly sound. "Games? Me? Nah, man, I'm just watching the show. You too, Jake, all falling apart. Didn't need my help for that. I didn't buy it." Mike knew too much, had always known, ever since that fight by the lake when he'd taunted Cristiano about me. "You knew back then," I said, stepping closer, the letter crumpled in my fist. "About my crush. You told Cristiano, messed with his head. Did you write this too?" He shrugged, swaying a little. "Told you, I found it. But yeah, I knew. Saw you mooning over him, saw him watching you back. Thought it was funny, little sister tagging along, big dreams. Guess it's not so funny now." Cristiano grabbed his shoulder, not rough but firm. "Mike, listen. Someone's sending these, texting her, stirring this up. If it's not you, who?" Mike shook him off, eyes narrowing. "How should I know? You've got enemies, man. Fame does that. Or maybe it's closer. Jake's girl, what's her name, Sarah? She's got a mean streak." My gut twisted. Sarah. She'd been whispering to Lucy, feeding Jake doubts, and that I've got my own secrets line stuck with me. "You've seen her tonight?" I asked, voice tight. Mike nodded, slow. "Yeah, with Jake, tearing out earlier. Looked pissed. Maybe she's tired of playing second fiddle." I turned to Cristiano, the pieces clicking but not quite fitting. "She's jealous, Cristiano. Of us, of whatever she thinks is there. But this?" I waved the letter. "This feels bigger." He nodded, jaw tight. "Yeah. Too personal. Mike, you sure you don't know more?" Mike smirked, taking a swig. "Told you what I know. But I'll give you a tip. Back then, after that fight, I made a deal with you, Cristiano. Remember?" Cristiano's face hardened, a flicker of something old and buried. "Yeah," he said, quiet. "You said you'd keep quiet about Ellie, if I stayed away from her." I did. My breath caught. "What?" I spun on him, the letter forgotten. "You made a deal? About me?" Cristiano looked at me, eyes raw. "Ellie, it wasn't like that. Mike was running his mouth, saying he'd tell you I didn't care, make it worse. I told him to shut up, said I'd keep my distance if he did. For Jake. For you." Mike chuckled, dark. "Worked, didn't it? You stayed clear," she pined away, and I kept my trap shut. "Mostly." I stared at them, my chest tight with betrayal and something sharper. "You decided that for me? Both of you?" Cristiano stepped closer, voice soft but urgent. "Ellie, I was a kid, scared of screwing everything up. I liked you, more than I admitted, but Jake was my brother. I couldn't." Mike cut in, slurring. "And I was the asshole who saw it all. Still am. But this?" He pointed at the letter. "Not my style. Too fancy." I wanted to scream, to shove them both into the lake and let them drown in their stupid pact, but my phone buzzed again. Another text. "He's lying. Ask about the promise." I showed it to Cristiano, my voice shaking. "What promise, Cristiano? What else?" He froze, then sighed, heavy and defeated. After the injury, when I was laid up, you kept coming by. Mike saw it, said I was leading you on. I promised him I'd never act on it, never tell you. Said it was to protect you, but really, it was me. I was a coward. My eyes burned, tears spilling over. You let me think it was nothing. All those years. He reached for me, hesitant. Ellie, I'm sorry. I thought I was doing right. Mike laughed again, stumbling back. See? Told you, soap opera. I'm out. Good luck, kids. He staggered off into the trees, leaving us alone with the wreckage. I pulled away, the letter and the text blurring together. Cristiano, you should have told me. Now Jake's gone, Sarah's scheming, and someone's still out there, playing us. He nodded, eyes haunted. I know. We need to find Jake, fix this. But first, who's sending these? Before I could answer, headlights cut through the dark, a car rolling up slow by the dock. Cristiano's car was still there, so this was someone else. The door opened, and out stepped a figure, tall and shadowed, moving toward us. My heart thudded as he got closer, the light catching his face. Cristiano. Ellie, he said, voice steady but strained, like he'd been running. I found Jake. He's at the old mill, drunk and pissed. But I came back for you. I blinked, confused. You just left. How? Then I saw it, the scar under his jaw, faint but there, same as the Cristiano beside me. My head spun. Two of him? No, wait. The one by the log stepped back, eyes wide, and I realized it wasn't him. It was Mike, sober now, wearing Cristiano's jacket, mimicking his stance. Surprise, he said, grinning. Fooled you, huh? My blood ran cold. Mike had played us, but the real Cristiano was here, and that letter still burned in my hand. The game wasn't over. Episode 12, Breaking Point. So here's the unfiltered truth. Sometimes you think you've hit rock bottom, but then the floor cracks, and you're falling again. That's me, Ellie Martin, standing by the lake with two versions of Cristiano Ronaldo staring me down, only one of them wasn't him. Mike, that sneaky bastard, had pulled a fast one, slipping into Cristiano's jacket and mimicking his voice, his stance, just to mess with me. The real Cristiano, the one who'd just rolled up in his car, was glaring at Mike like he wanted to deck him all over again, while I clutched that third letter, you'll lose them both if you don't stop, my head spinning from the night's endless twists. The lake stretched out dark and still, the reunion a faded echo, and I was done with the games. Mike, I snapped, stepping toward him, my voice raw and furious. What the hell was that? Pretending to be him? You think this is funny? He shrugged, peeling off the jacket, his grin sloppy but sharp. Relax, Ellie, just a little fun. You're so wound up, thought I'd shake you loose. Worked, didn't it? Cristiano, the real one, moved fast, grabbing Mike by the collar. Fun's over, man. You've been screwing with us all night. Those texts, the letters, it's you, isn't it? Mike laughed, rough and unhinged, shoving him off. Wish I was that clever, Cristiano. Nah, I just found that note, played along. Someone else is running this show. I didn't believe him, not fully, but before I could push, Cristiano turned to me, his face tight with worry. Ellie, Jake's at the old mill. Found him there, drunk, ranting about us. I came back to get you. We need to fix this. My chest squeezed. Jake, my brother, falling apart because of me, because of that stupid letter I wrote years ago and the mess it unleashed tonight. Let's go, I said, tossing Mike a glare. Stay out of this, Mike. You've done enough. He raised his hands, backing off into the trees. Fine, fine. Catch you later, lovebirds. And he was gone, leaving us with the weight of his words and that damn letter. The drive to the mill was silent, the car humming through Pinewood's empty streets, Cristiano's hands tight on the wheel. I kept replaying it all, his confession about the lake, the promise to Mike, the way he'd said always you back in my room. It was real, raw, and now it was breaking us. The mill loomed ahead, a crumbling relic from the town's lumber days, windows dark and jagged. Jake's truck was parked crooked out front, and I could hear him before we even got out, his voice slurring through the night, loud and broken. We found him inside, sprawled on an old crate, a half-empty bottle of whiskey in his hand. "Ellie," he mumbled, spotting me, his eyes red and glassy. "And Cristiano. Perfect. The happy couple." My heart sank. "Jake, stop it," I said, stepping closer, the letter heavy in my pocket. "We're not, it's not what you think." He laughed, bitter and sharp, swinging the bottle. "Not what I think? I read your letter, Ellie. I'm in love with you, Cristiano. And that new one, saying he knew? You've been lying to me, both of you." Cristiano knelt beside him, voice steady. "Jake, man, I didn't know back then. I swear. Tonight's the first I heard it." Jake shoved him, hard, the bottle clattering to the floor. "Bullshit. You're my best friend, and she's my sister, and you're sneaking around, laughing at me." I grabbed his arm, desperate. "Jake, no one's laughing. That letter was years ago, I never sent it. Someone's messing with us, planting these notes." He yanked free, staggering up, his face twisted. "Who, Ellie? Sarah? Lucy? Or you, covering your ass?" I flinched, tears stinging. "I don't know, okay? But I'm not covering anything. I loved him, yeah, back then. I didn't tell you because I didn't want this." The air went still, the truth hanging there, heavy and ugly. Jake stared at me, then at Cristiano, who'd gone quiet, his hands clenched. "You loved him," Jake said, slow, like he was tasting the words. "And you, Chris? What about you?" Cristiano looked up, eyes raw. "I felt something too, Jake. Didn't act on it, not till tonight. I stayed away, for you." Jake's laugh was a broken thing. "For me. Great. So noble. And now what? You two gonna ride off together, leave me in the dust?" "No," I said, voice cracking. "Jake, you're my brother." I'd never, but he wasn't listening. He lunged at Cristiano, fists swinging, and they crashed into the wall, grunting and grappling like kids again, only this time it wasn't play. I screamed, "Stop it," and wedged myself between them, shoving Jake back. "Enough. You're drunk and you're pissed, but we're not the enemy." He stumbled, breathing hard, and for a second, I thought he'd swing again. Then he sank back onto the crate, head in his hands. "I trusted you," he muttered. "Both of you." Cristiano wiped blood from his lip, voice low. "We'll fix this, Jake. I swear." But Jake just shook his head, silent now, the fight draining out of him. I knelt beside him, tears spilling. "I'm sorry, Jake. I should have told you." He didn't look at me, just stared at the floor, and the silence cut deeper than his words. Then my phone buzzed, another text, same unknown number. "He's not the only one who's hurt." I showed it to Cristiano, my hands trembling. "What now?" I whispered. He glanced at Jake, then back at me, eyes dark. "Someone's still out there, Ellie. Watching." Before we could process it, headlights flashed outside, a car pulling up fast. The door slammed, and Sarah stormed in, her face a mask of fury. "Ellie, Cristiano, what the hell? Jake, you okay?" She rushed to him, but her eyes locked on me, cold and accusing. "You did this," she hissed. "You and your little crush. He's a mess because of you." I stood, shaking. "Sarah, back off. You've been stirring this all night, feeding Lucy lies. What's your game?" She smirked, sharp. "My game? Keeping what's mine. You think I don't see how he looks at you? How Jake's caught in the middle. Cristiano stepped forward, voice hard. Sarah, if you're behind these letters, say it. She laughed, bitter. Letters? Please. I don't need paper to fight for what's mine. But her eyes flicked to Jake, then away, and I saw it, a crack in her armor. She was hiding something, and it wasn't just jealousy. Jake looked up, voice slurred but steady. Sarah, what did you do? She froze, and the room went dead quiet, the breaking point snapping right there. Episode 13, Shattered Trust. Here's the brutal truth. Trust isn't some solid thing you can hold on to. It's glass, fragile and sharp, and when it breaks, it cuts everyone in the room. That's where I was, Ellie Martin, standing in the old mill with the air thick and sour, Jake slumped on a crate, drunk and broken, Cristiano beside me wiping blood from his lip, and Sarah glaring at us like she'd set the whole damn place on fire if she could. She'd just stormed in, accusing me of ruining Jake with my little crush, and when he'd asked her, voice slurred but piercing, Sarah, what did you do? The silence that followed was a blade to the gut. Her smirk faltered, just for a second, and I knew we'd hit something raw. The night had already unraveled us, the letters and texts and fights piling up, and now trust was bleeding out on the dusty floor. Sarah crossed her arms, her blonde hair catching the dim light, and laughed, sharp and forced. What did I do, Jake? Nothing. I'm here picking up the pieces while your sister and your best friend stab you in the back. I stepped forward, my voice shaking with fury. Bullshit, Sarah. You've been stirring this all night, whispering to Lucy, pushing Jake's buttons. You're not innocent. She turned on me, eyes blazing. Innocent? You wrote a love letter to Cristiano, Ellie. You think that doesn't hurt him? 2 years with Jake, and I'm still second to you two and your little history. Jake lifted his head, slow, his eyes glassy but focused. Sarah, he said, voice rough. You told me they were sneaking around. Said you saw em in the kitchen, all over each other. Was that true? Her jaw tightened, and I saw it, the flicker of doubt. I saw what I saw, she snapped. They were close, Jake, too close. You deserve to know. Cristiano cut in, voice hard. Close? We were talking, Sarah. You twisted it, fed him lies. Why? She spun on him, fierce. Because I'm tired of watching you both pretend. Ellie's been mooning over you forever, and you, Cristiano, you look at her like she's the damn sun. I'm not blind. My chest squeezed, her words slicing too close to the truth. Jake staggered up, the whiskey bottle rolling away, and pointed at her. You made it worse, Sarah. Kept saying they were hiding shit, got me so mad I couldn't see straight. Why push it? She froze, her bravado cracking, and I stepped in, the third letter burning in my pocket. Because she's got something to hide, I said, voice low. She told me earlier, I've got my own secrets. What's that mean, Sarah? Her eyes widened, just a flash, then she laughed again, colder this time. You're reaching, Ellie. I'm not the one with love notes stashed away. But Jake wasn't letting it go. He grabbed her arm, not hard but firm. Sarah, tell me. What did you do? She yanked free, stepping back, her face a mix of anger and something softer, maybe fear. I didn't do anything, Jake. I wanted you to see them for what they are. You're mine, not theirs. His voice dropped, quiet and dangerous. You leaked it to Lucy, didn't you? Gave her the story, got her digging. That's why she's all over us. Sarah's silence was answer enough, her lips pressed tight, and my stomach sank. You did, I said, stunned. You fed her the scar, the fight, all of it. Cristiano moved closer, his voice a growl. Sarah, you had no right. That's our past, not your weapon. She spun on him, tears glinting now. Your past? It's my present, Cristiano. I love Jake, and you two keep pulling him away, with your looks and your secrets. I had to do something. Jake stared at her, the fight draining out of him, replaced by something hollow. You love me, he said, slow, so you broke me? Pushed me till I snapped at them? She reached for him, desperate. Jake, I didn't mean. I just wanted you to see. I couldn't take it anymore. I pulled out the third letter, holding it up. Then what's this, Sarah? You'll lose them both if you don't stop. You write it? Or was it Lucy, your little puppet? She blinked, confused, and for the first time, I believed her when she said, I don't know what that is. I didn't write anything. Cristiano grabbed it, reading it again, his face darkening. Someone did. And they're still out there. Jake sank back onto the crate, head in his hands. I can't do this, he muttered. You're all lying, or hiding, or something. I'm done. My heart broke, tears spilling as I knelt beside him. Jake, please. I'm sorry, okay? I should have told you years ago, about the crush, the letter. I didn't because I didn't want this. He looked at me, eyes red and lost. Too late, Ellie. You and Chris, you've got your thing. Sarah's got hers. And me? I'm just the idiot in the middle. Cristiano crouched too, voice soft. Jake, you're not. You're my brother. I messed up, keeping quiet. We'll fix it. But Jake shook his head, pulling away. Fix it? Trust's gone, man. Shattered. Sarah stepped back, tears streaming now, her voice small. Jake, I didn't mean to hurt you. I couldn't lose you. He didn't look at her, just stared at the floor, and the silence stretched, heavy and final. My phone buzzed again, and I almost didn't check it, but I did. Another text, same number. Look outside. I showed it to Cristiano, my hands trembling, and we moved to the broken window, peering into the dark. A figure stood by Jake's truck, shadowed, holding something, then tossed it and bolted. Cristiano ran out, me behind him, and we found it, a fourth letter, sealed, my name scrawled on it. I tore it open, my breath hitching as I read, he loved someone else too. Ask him. I turned to Jake, still inside, his head down, and my voice shook. Jake, what's this mean? Who'd you love? He looked up, stunned, then at Sarah, and the room went dead quiet, the shattered trust cutting deeper than ever. Episode 14, The Fallout. Here's the ugly reality, when everything's already in pieces, you think it can't get worse, but then someone hands you a sledgehammer and says, swing. That's me, Ellie Martin, standing outside the old mill with Cristiano Ronaldo beside me, the night air cold and biting as I held a fourth letter, the words he loved someone else too. Ask him staring up at me in shaky script. Inside, Jake was a wreck, slumped on a crate, drunk and hollowed out, Sarah hovering near him with tears streaking her face after admitting she'd fed Lucy the story that tore us apart. The reunion was long gone, Pinewood's quiet streets a backdrop to this mess, and now this letter, dropped by a shadow who'd vanished into the dark, was about to crack open something new. My hands shook as I walked back in, the paper crumpled, my voice trembling but firm. Jake, what's this mean? Who'd you love? He looked up, eyes bleary and wide, like I'd slapped him sober. What? He mumbled, voice thick with whiskey and exhaustion. I held the letter out, stepping closer, Cristiano behind me, his silence heavy. This. He loved someone else too. It's about you. Who was it? Sarah's head snapped up, her tears stopping cold, and Jake staggered to his feet, swaying. Ellie, what the hell are you talking about? Gimme that. He snatched it from me, squinting at the words, his face twisting from confusion to something darker, a flicker of recognition. This ain't real, he said, but his voice cracked, and I knew he was lying. Jake, I pressed, my chest tight. Don't bullshit me. Not now. We've all spilled our guts tonight. Your turn. He laughed, a broken, bitter sound, and tossed the letter on the floor. My turn? You and Cristiano already took yours, Ellie. Love letters, secret looks, shattering me. What's left? Cristiano stepped forward, voice low. Jake, man, we're not the enemy. Someone's doing this, throwing these at us. If you know something, say it. Jake glared at him, then at Sarah, who was watching him now, her eyes narrowing. Sarah, he said, slow, you wanna tell Em, or should I? Her face paled, and my stomach dropped. Tell us what? I asked, turning on her. She crossed her arms, defensive, but her voice shook. Nothing, Ellie. He's drunk, talking nonsense. Jake laughed again, louder, stumbling toward her. Nonsense? 2 years, Sarah, and you still don't get it. I loved her first. Before you. The room went dead quiet, the air sucked out, and I stared at him, my mind racing. Her? I whispered. Who, Jake? He looked at me, eyes red and raw, and said it, soft but clear. Lisa. Lisa. Our cousin, 2 years older, wild and bright, who'd moved away after high school and never came back. My breath caught, memories flashing, Jake trailing after her at family picnics, his shy grins, her teasing laugh. Sarah's voice cut through, sharp and high. Lisa? You're kidding me, Jake. You told me that was nothing, a kid thing. He turned on her, fierce. It wasn't nothing. I loved her, Sarah, till she left, and you were there after. But it's always been her shadow, hasn't it? Sarah's tears started again, but they were angry now. So I'm what, second best? 2 years, and you're still hung up on her? I stepped back, reeling, the letter making sick sense. Jake, I said, voice small. Why didn't you tell me? He sank onto the crate, head in his hands. Because it hurt, Ellie. She didn't love me back, left without a word. And then you and Chris, I thought. I'd lose you too. Cristiano knelt beside him, voice steady. You're not losing us, Jake. Never were. But Jake shook his head, bitter. Too late, man. Trust's gone. You love her, she loves you, and Sarah's ripping us apart over it. Sarah grabbed her bag, her voice shaking. I'm done, Jake. You wanna wallow in your past, fine. But I'm not sticking around for this. She stormed out, the door slamming, and I heard her car peel away, leaving us in the wreckage. My phone buzzed, another text, and I checked it, numb. He's free now. So are you. I showed it to Cristiano, my hands trembling. Who's doing this? I whispered. He scanned the letter again, then the mill, eyes dark. Someone who knows us, Ellie. Too well. Before we could figure it out, the news hit. My phone lit up with alerts, Lucy's story breaking online, Cristiano Ronaldo's small-town scandal, love, lies, and a family torn apart. She'd named me, Jake, the scar, the fight, all of it, twisted into a juicy tabloid mess. Sarah, I hissed, shoving the phone at Cristiano. She did this. He read it, jaw tight. Maybe. But this line, a source close to the family says it's been brewing for years. That's not just her. My gut twisted. Mike? Someone else? The mill felt suffocating, Jake's silence deafening, and I knew the fallout was just starting. I knelt by Jake, touching his shoulder. We'll fix this, I said, tears spilling. I'm sorry, for everything. He didn't look up, just muttered, go, Ellie. Take Cristiano. I need time. Cristiano pulled me up, gentle but firm. Let's get out of here. He's right, he needs space. We stepped outside, the night closing in, and I felt the weight of it all, the letters, the texts, the shattered trust. What now? I asked, voice breaking. Cristiano looked at me, eyes raw but steady. We find who's behind it. and we stick together. Then my phone buzzed again, one last text. Check the box. The locked box, back in my room. My blood ran cold, and I knew the answers were there, waiting to bury us deeper. Episode 15, The Final Truth. Here's the raw deal. When you're drowning in secrets, the last thing you expect is a lifeline, but sometimes it's just a rope to hang yourself with. That's me, Ellie Martin, standing outside the old mill with Cristiano Ronaldo, the night pressing in like a bruise after Jake's bombshell about loving Lisa tore what was left of us apart. Sarah was gone, her car long peeled out, and Lucy's article was lighting up my phone, a public gut punch that named us all in her twisted tale. Then that text hit, check the box, and my blood turned to ice. The locked box, back in my room, labeled secrets, had been taunting me all night, and now it was calling me home. Cristiano grabbed my arm, his voice low and steady. Ellie, we need to go. Whatever's in there, it's the key. The drive back to Mom's was a blur, Pinewood streets silent except for the hum of the engine and my own ragged breathing. Cristiano kept glancing at me, his knuckles white on the wheel, and I could feel it, the unspoken pull between us, stronger now after everything. Cristiano, I said, voice small, what if it's worse? What if this breaks us for good? He didn't look at me, just kept driving, but his voice was firm. We're already broken, Ellie. This is how we put it back together. Or try. I nodded, clutching the letters in my pocket, the weight of the night heavy as we pulled into the driveway. The house was dark, the reunion over, Mom probably asleep, oblivious to the chaos we'd left behind. We slipped upstairs, quiet as ghosts, and I yanked the box from under my bed, the word secrets scratched into the wood like a dare. No key, I muttered, shaking it, the rattle inside teasing me. Cristiano grabbed a paperclip from my desk, bending it with those steady hands. Old trick, he said, working the lock, and after a tense minute, it clicked open. My heart thudded as I lifted the lid, and there it was, a stack of papers, photos, and a folded note, my name scrawled on it in handwriting I knew too well. Mike's. I unfolded it, my hands trembling, and read aloud, voice shaking. Ellie, if you're reading this, it's all out now. I sent the texts, planted the letters. Had to. You and Cristiano, Jake, you were all stuck, pretending the past didn't matter. I saw it, years ago, you loving him loving you, Jake caught in the middle. Made a pact with Chris to keep it buried, but it ate at me. Then Sarah started sniffing around, jealous as hell, and I saw my chance. Stirred it up, forced you to face it. Sorry, kid. Some secrets need air. My breath hitched, tears spilling as I looked at Cristiano. Mike. It was Mike all along. He sank onto the bed, face pale, scanning the note. That bastard. He played us, Ellie. The fight, the promise, he turned it into this. I dug through the box, pulling out photos, me and Cristiano by the lake, his arm around me, Jake laughing nearby. Letters too, not mine, but Mike's, drafts of the ones he'd planted, tweaking the truth to twist the knife. Why? I whispered, dropping them. Why do this? Cristiano grabbed one, his voice tight. Because he's messed up. Always was. Thought he was saving us, maybe, or just wanted to watch us burn. My phone buzzed, one last text from that number, Mike's now, I knew. Tell Jake the truth. He deserves it. I showed it to Cristiano, my chest aching. He's right, I said, wiping my eyes. Jake needs to know. About us, about Mike, all of it. Cristiano nodded, slow, his hand brushing mine, warm and real. Yeah. But first, us. Ellie, I meant it, back there. Always you. Even when I couldn't say it. My heart skipped, the years melting away, and I leaned in, our foreheads touching, the air electric. Me too, I whispered. Always. We didn't kiss, not yet, but it was there, a promise hanging between us, fragile but alive. The door creaked, and Mom poked her head in, voice sleepy. Ellie? Cristiano? What's going on? I straightened, the box open beside me. Mom, it's a long story. But we need to find Jake. She frowned, stepping in. He's downstairs, honey. Came back an hour ago, passed out on the couch. Rough night? I laughed, a broken sound. You have no idea. We headed down, Cristiano behind me, and there he was, Jake, sprawled out, snoring, the whiskey still on his breath. I knelt beside him, touching his shoulder. Jake, I said, soft, shaking him awake. His eyes fluttered open, red and lost. Ellie? What now? I took a breath, holding up Mike's note. It's over, Jake. Mike did this, the letters, the texts, all of it. He knew about me and Cristiano, years ago, and he broke us open. I'm sorry, for everything. He stared at me, then at Cristiano, who nodded, voice low. Truth, man. I love her. Always did. Didn't act till tonight, for you. Jake sat up, slow, rubbing his face. Mike, he muttered, bitter. That asshole. And you too, what am I supposed to do with that? I grabbed his hand, tears falling. Be my brother. That's all. We'll figure it out. He looked at me, then Cristiano, and sighed, heavy and worn. I loved Lisa, Ellie. Still do, maybe. Hurts like hell. But you're my sister. And you, Chris, you're still my brother, even if I want to punch you. Cristiano smiled, faint. Fair. The room settled, a fragile peace, but then Mom spoke, voice quiet. There's one more thing, Ellie. Found this in the mail today, didn't open it till now. She handed me an envelope, old and yellowed, postmarked years ago. I tore it open, my breath catching. Another letter, from Lisa. Jake, I'm sorry I left. I loved you too, but I couldn't stay. Be happy. My eyes met his, and he took it, reading, tears spilling silent. She loved me, he whispered, and the final truth settled in, bittersweet and heavy. Episode 16, Beyond the Words. So here's the unvarnished end of it. Sometimes you get the truth, all of it, raw and jagged, and it doesn't fix everything, but it leaves you standing anyway. That's me, Ellie Martin, in Mom's living room with the dawn creeping through the curtains, painting the walls gold after the longest night of my life. Jake was beside me on the couch, clutching Lisa's letter, his eyes red but steady, the whiskey haze finally fading. Cristiano sat across from us, his face worn but open, that scar under his jaw catching the light, a quiet reminder of the past we'd just ripped open. Mom hovered by the kitchen, her voice soft as she said, I'll make coffee, leaving us to the wreckage and the fragile peace we'd clawed our way to. The locked box was upstairs, Mike's confessions spilled out, and the weight of years was settling into something we could maybe carry. I looked at Jake, his hands trembling as he reread Lisa's words, I loved you too, but I couldn't stay. Jake, I said, voice low, touching his arm. You okay? He laughed, a rough, tired sound, and set the letter down. Okay? Ellie, I don't even know what that means anymore. She loved me. All this time, and I never knew. His voice cracked, and I squeezed his arm, tears prickling my own eyes. She did. And you got us, still. Always. He nodded, slow, glancing at Cristiano. Yeah. You and Cristiano, huh? Guess I saw that coming, deep down. Cristiano leaned forward, elbows on his knees, his voice steady but soft. Jake, man, I'm sorry. For keeping quiet, for letting Mike twist it. I love her, yeah, but you're my brother. That's not changing. Jake met his eyes, a flicker of the old bond there, bruised but alive. Love her, huh? Took you long enough to say it. Cristiano smiled, faint and real. Yeah, well, I'm slow sometimes. I laughed, a shaky release, and Jake smirked, just a little. Idiot. Both of you. The room settled, the tension easing like a knot untying, and I pulled out Mike's note again, reading it silent to myself. Some secrets need air. He'd forced it, sent the texts, planted the letters, all to drag Chris break us open, and it worked, in the messiest, ugliest way. Mike, I said, voice bitter. He's gone, right? After this? Cristiano nodded, jaw tight. Yeah. Saw him at the lake, drunk and done. He won't show his face here again, not after that stunt. Jake snorted, dark. Good. Let him rot. Mom came back with mugs, the smell of coffee grounding us, and sat beside me, her hand on my knee. You kids okay now? Scared me, all that yelling and running around. I leaned into her, exhausted. We're getting there, Mom. It's a lot. She nodded, wise and quiet. Family's messy, honey. Always is. But you're tough. I smiled, weak but real, and sipped the coffee, the warmth seeping into me. Jake stood, stretching, still shaky but solid. I need air. Gonna walk, clear my head. You too, do whatever you're gonna do. Just don't tell me about it. He smirked again, a shadow of the old Jake, and grabbed his jacket, heading out. Mom followed, muttering about breakfast, leaving me and Cristiano alone, the silence soft now, not suffocating. He slid closer, his hand finding mine, fingers lacing tight. Ellie, he said, voice low, that accent wrapping around me like it always did. We good? I looked at him, really looked, the boy I'd loved since I was a kid, the man he'd become, scars and all. Yeah, Cristiano. We're good. Messy, but good. He smiled, full and bright, and pulled me in, his lips brushing mine, tentative at first, then sure, a kiss that tasted like years of waiting and a night of breaking. I kissed him back, hard and real, the world fading until it was just us, here, now. We pulled apart, breathless, and I laughed, wiping my eyes. What now? He shrugged, easy. Dunno. I've got games, you've got Pinewood. But we figure it out. Together. I nodded, leaning into him, his arm around me, solid and warm. Together. Later, cleaning up, I found something in the box, missed before, a faded photo tucked under Mike's junk. Me, Jake, Cristiano, and Lisa, kids by the lake, grinning like nothing could touch us. It slipped from my fingers, fluttering to the floor, and I stared at it, a piece of us frozen there, unanswered, unexplained. Cristiano picked it up, frowning. What's this? I shook my head, voice soft. Dunno. Just us. The four. He set it down, pulling me close again, and we left it there, a quiet ghost in the light of everything else. Outside, the sun was up, Pinewood waking slow, and I knew it wasn't over, not clean, not perfect. Jake had Lisa's ghost, Sarah was out there, Lucy's story still buzzing, but we'd made it through the night. And that photo, that little mystery, it lingered, a whisper of something more, something we might never know. Thank you for listening to this incredible story. Our team would really appreciate it if you give us a like and comment. Your opinion is very important to us. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed. See you soon.